welcome to another show of Office Hours. And Susie Lee is here. Susie Lee. Susie, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Stanley.
So excited to have you here. Hey, I have to do something that hopefully won't embarrass either one of us too much. Have you ever seen a life on a screen or the stage or the street? That's Susie Lee. There you go. Okay, we'll stop right there. The serenading is done.
Yep.
And now it's time to talk about you. Because I am fascinated by your background.
I would say the background part is either you could frame it as here's somebody who has a problem with commitment and follow through, or it's just one of those like here's a contemporary way of looking at things and bringing a lot of skills together and bringing them, always bringing the skills of the former to the current thing. So I was pre-med. And you're looking confused, but really you shouldn't be, because that, like, daughter of Korean immigrants, this is absolutely one of the prescribed paths. So that happened, and then I decided I didn't want to do that. Accelerate, took a half step and went into science education and teaching. So I taught in public schools in New York for a while.
What you're doing right now is like, where did that come from? And then if I look at your history as an observer and of humans and environments and things like that, it kind of all makes sense.
Yeah, I'm observing your hair. I can't help it. I'm just going to say this right now. Like, I've been doing this for the last 10 minutes and I still keep observing your hair.
Yes. So I love this, and this will get into what you're doing now. The way that you look, is the way that people judge you, first of all. They can't help it. They don't know you.
Yep.
So they look at your hair, your face, your clothes, and then you start talking.
Yep.
Well, now they can, or writing, and then they get to know you at a different level, of course, and it's just like that.
Yeah.
So, first impressions?
Yes.
So
for dating. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Exactly. So you walk down, I mean, it's like this. It's like you're walking down the street and you have this stream of people going past you, or a big lineup of people. You're looking for someone that looks interesting, that has some empathy in their eyes, that, some spark there.
Yep. Those signifiers. On Siren, one of the questions that we have is like, we have a tagline that's be yourself. But be yourself is kind of a wide thing where we're like, but don't be yourself where you just rolled out of bed and you didn't take a shower. Like that's one be yourself, but that's not the most positive first impression be yourself you can be. But at the same time, if the only first impression you have is, say, like on other dating apps, a single photo that happens to be your best photo, that's also like an awkward place to be, because I'm never gonna look like that person. Siren is a dating app that is about making the kind of connections that matter to people, meaning one-to-one connections, real-life connections. In some ways, I think of it as like anti-social media, because our goal is to say, this is simply an introduction, and we as the company want to give our members the best way possible to give a first impression so that you'll actually want to meet people in real life.
So what's the first thing that you encounter when you go on the app and you start browsing?
Doing a thing, right.
So what is the difference that you foresee there?
Well, the first principle is that we know that like a physical space, people need to feel comfortable and safe. And so if you don't provide that aspect to it, then you're already like getting people on guard. And I always tell my team, we're trying to help make strangers less strange to each other. And that's a really difficult task. So it's not a chatting app where you're like, yo, Stanley, get on this app, it's really fun, It's about reinforcing friendships. You're talking about brokering a first-time introduction, and that's a lot harder. So absolutely, like safety, reputation, and just feeling comfortable is important.
So tell me, so that's different than almost any other app. You have to put your face up.
Yeah.
And you see the face.
Yeah.
So you're able, on Siren, you're able to have an engagement or get to know someone without seeing their face first, and then.
But you do see their personality because you see the responses.
Right.
So.
And then that person, when they feel comfortable, they can turn on. They can reveal their face. Right?
Yes, and they do that. So let's say let's say you're like, oh my God, I have a blurred photo, and you're like, but your response is really awesome. Then I can be like, you seem pretty awesome. I like your responses. And then when I request a connection back, then you see the photo. So the anonymity is for sort of a general public, but it's not to the one-on-one connection. So that's a much closer and intimate thing, and so we don't want people to be anonymous, like forever. It's like, well, you've established a connection, so like show this part. I said, I feel like I'm a pinned butterfly where I'm putting my picture out there for guys to judge, and like that judgment is also probably not me, because they're looking at an Asian woman, they're like, oh, she's going to be quiet and sweet and demure and blah, and all these like horrible stereotypes and like fetishes about like Asian hunters and everything. And I was like, ugh. I mean, I try to navigate those like in my real life, like avoiding those. I'm like, now you're like making me do this in like my digital life. No, I don't want to do this. So to me, it was really obvious. I'm like, if you don't give a space for women to feel comfortable, you have a really bad business model.
Could you be my therapist?
I could, but then I would charge $250 an hour, and then I wouldn't actually be an artist anymore. Because who earns $250 an hour as an artist?
I love your story. I love this siren app sounds really cool. And thank you so much for coming.
Thanks.
Thank you. Susie Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you. Give me a hand.
Thank you.
All right. That was very awkward.
I know. Can we do another one?
Shaking hands is hard to me. High-fiving's hard. Fist bumps are hard. Hugs are the only thing that feel natural to me in life.